Hi there. We are continuing with wrapping up the Girl Scout Year series, and today we're going to be talking about and making lumpia. Lumpia is a Filipino style spring roll that is fried. It is delicious, it is crispy, it is crunchy, it's filled with veggies and meat, and it's served at a lot of Filipino celebrations. So if it's a birthday, if it's Christmas, any type of gathering, there's usually some lumpia there. A lot of people ask if lumpia is the same thing as an egg roll, and it's not. And the difference is usually the filling is a little bit different, but the biggest difference you'll notice is that the lumpia's wrapper is a lot thinner and it's more square shaped, whereas the egg roll is a lot thicker and it's a smaller, it's also square shaped actually, but a lot smaller. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. This is a great thing to do with your family, with friends. They freeze really well, so whenever we make lumpia, we usually make a big batch at a time. It's easy, but it's a little time consuming. So whenever we do make it, we like to make a big bunch at a time. They freeze really well. I would say they last about to 6 months in the freezer. We put them in a freezer gallon bag so that they stay nice and fresh. And whenever you're ready to fry them up, you can do that. So let's make some lumpia. So what you're going to do is you're going to get your pan nice and warm, and you're going to add just a drizzle of oil down there at the bottom. You're going to get your ground beef and you're just going to brown it like you would any other kind of ground beef that you are making. So I'm doing 3 pounds here because, like I said, whenever we make a lumpia, we make a bunch. So we're going to make probably this will make probably close to 80 lumpias, I would say. Alrighty, so you're just gonna cook this up. And I also like to add a little bit of salt and pepper just to season it. You will see some recipes online, they add some other things to it. There is an Asian seasoning called Maggi that a lot of people like to add in, or some people like to add in MSG for extra flavor, but here in our family we like to do just some salt and some garlic, some garlic salt and some pepper, just for a little bit of flavor, because really it's all about the dipping sauce when it comes to lumpia. And I'm going to tell you about 2 different sauces that you can do for this. My daughter, she likes to eat it without any sauce, and that's how good it is. She doesn't need any sauce. It's just crispy, yummy, meaty, veggie goodness. Alrighty, so you want to make sure that you break your ground beef up really well. And at this point, it looks like our ground beef is done. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and strain all of the fat and oil and grease that came out of the ground beef, and you're gonna wanna strain this really, really well so that there's little to no oil left. So go ahead and strain your ground beef really, really well. And then after that, you're gonna put that ground beef in a large mixing bowl that has some room, okay? Alrighty, so now that we have our ground beef in our big bowl, all drained, ready to go, you're gonna get your bag of vegetables. So you can use any kind of vegetables you like. Traditionally, it has corn, carrots, green beans. Sometimes we do bean sprouts, but I forgot to buy those, so this batch will not have any bean sprouts. But you're just gonna get a bag of frozen veggies and then add it to your ground beef mixture. And then just mix that together. And that is it, my friends. This right here is your lumpia filling. If you want to do just corn, you can do just corn. Some people will shred some cabbage and put that in there. But this is my go-to because it is simple and easy and all chopped up for me and ready to go. And these are veggies that I know my family will eat. Alrighty, so we got that nicely combined. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna set that to the side for a second. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna get our wrappers ready. So what you wanna do is get a plate, and then I get some paper towels and I get them a little damp. Just wring it out so it's not dripping wet. Place one on the bottom, and you're gonna have one on the side because what we're gonna do is we're gonna peel the wrappers, put it on a plate, and then cover it with another damp napkin. And the reason why we wanna do that is because this block of wrappers here are stuck together. So you actually have to peel them apart. They're super thin, so they'll dry out very quickly as well, and you don't want that because then they'll become very hard to work with. You'll still be able to use them, but they'll be very hard to work with and they'll tear easily. So these are the pastry wrappers that I got. You can get any brand that you like, but you want to make sure they're the spring roll ones and they're super thin. So I'm going to go ahead and open these up. So these we got at our local Asian market. I have seen them at other grocery stores, so, but I like going to the Asian market because they have cool things, but also because they have the bigger packages. And when, like I said, when we make these in huge batches. So what I like to do is just tear off a chunk here and then just start peeling away. So you're just gonna have to try to separate them just like that. So you can see how thin these are, and it's just a perfect square. You'll see that some of the ends have little imperfections, but don't worry about that. And don't worry about if you tear them midway or halfway or the corner off as well, because when you roll them, there's a technique that you can do that will hide all of those little imperfections on your wrappers. So what you want to, I like to peel them all ahead of time so that once I start rolling and I'm on a roll, you can just keep going. And you want to make sure that sometimes it looks like it could be one, but it's two. And this was one of those. And to be honest, I haven't tried this brand before, but I am impressed. I've usually torn a few by now. So what we'll do is just keep chunking away at this. Alrighty friends, so now that we've peeled all of our lumpia wrapper, you want to make sure you get that other paper towel that's damp and place it on top while you get everything ready. Put that to the side. You're gonna get 1 egg in a little dish and you're just gonna mix it up and scramble it. It doesn't need any seasoning. This is just gonna be used to help you seal the wrapper so that all of your filling stays inside of the lumpia. Some people use water, but I found for lumpia wrapper, it's better to use egg because the wrapper doesn't have a lot of flour left on it because it's frozen. So the egg gives it a better sealant rather than water. If you're doing an egg roll, you could definitely use water. That has a lot of starch left over on it. So now we're gonna get to wrapping. So what you're gonna do, oh, full disclosure. So I usually use a different brand of lumpia wrapper, and this was my first time using this brand, and 10 out of 10, I recommend. I have usually ripped at least, I don't know, of a package of 30, I usually rip at least 5 to 8. This package, I ripped 0. So very good quality, 10 out of 10 recommend. Alrighty, so now we're gonna roll. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your lumpia wrapper on your cutting board. I like to use a cutting board for stability. And I'm gonna ask my camera woman to come a little bit closer and zoom in right here so that everyone can see. Alrighty, so we got our lumpia wrapper, our egg, and our filling. So now I'm gonna show you how to wrap it. So you're gonna get a heaping spoonful and you're gonna put it in the corner that is closest to you. And you can make these however thick you want to make them. You wouldn't wanna make it too thick because it'll rip the wrapper and it'll just fall apart. So I would say that's a good 3 tablespoons of filling or so. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna pull the corner that's nearest to you up to cover the filling. And I like to pull this part back toward me to put everything in there tight. So from here, just gonna pull back a little bit and then you're gonna roll once and then twice, okay? Now you're gonna take your corners and fold in. Sometimes some of the filling will get loose in the corners, but that's okay, just fold it in. Take the other corner and fold that in. And then you're gonna roll, and then this little corner that's left here, you're gonna get just the back of your spoon with some egg, not a lot, and just put that right there, and then roll again to seal it. And there is a perfect little lumpia for you. One ready to go. One down, 79 more to go. I also like to do some parchment paper or some wax paper nearby so that I can start letting the egg wash dry while I make the others. So when you go ahead and put them into a Ziploc bag, a freezer Ziploc bag, they won't all stick together. Okay, so here's another one we'll do. And I would encourage you to get the whole family involved. Everybody sit around the table with the lumpia filling in the middle, multiple spoons. Everybody's got some wrappers, and it's a great opportunity to just sit around with your family, wrap some lumpia, and just talk and catch up. Life can be so busy that this is a good time to just be with your family or friends and chit chat about how things are going or reminisce on the non-COVID days. It's a great bonding time for sure. So here you can see that I have a little bit of a tear here. So when you have that, you want to put it in the corner that's closest to you. And you can still work with it. Okay. So get all your fillings there. if you have your family helping. You have to be okay with them not being uniformed. So you can see what tear. There is no tear. Hit it really, really well. A lot of the times when we have these gatherings and we're making some lumpia, a popular dish that goes with it as well is pancit, which is a Filipino noodle dish. It's pretty much fried noodles with vegetables, with shrimp or pork, sometimes chicken, whatever your liking is. I'm not very good at making that, but it's delicious. And this is, lumpia is something actually my husband taught me how to make. So I'm just going to show you this one more here, and I'm sure you got the hang of it. It takes some practice. My biggest advice would be make sure that everything, this part right here, when you bring this back, make sure everything is tight. Kind of give it a little squeeze almost. And same for this, you want to pull this part in, like rolling a burrito. And just a little bit of egg wash, you don't want too much. Make sure you get it all the way down to that corner and just roll, and it seals it really nicely. If there's a little bit of excess, you can just wipe it off and you'll be fine. Alrighty, so now that we've done wrapping all of our lumpia, we can go ahead and put them in 1 gallon size freezer bag. So when I put them in the bags, I like to do a single layer so that they don't stick together. And you can usually fit about 12 to 15 in a bag. Okay, and then you're gonna just close it up. And then when you store them in your freezer, you can just lay them flat, and you can stack them on top of each other if you need to save space. Once they're frozen, you can combine the bags together or condense them into, you could probably fit 2 bags into one once they're frozen. So now that we're all done wrapping, let's go fry some. Alrighty, so now we're gonna go ahead and fry up our lumpia. So we have a pan here with some oil, about, I would say about a little less than, maybe an inch actually, of oil in there, nice and hot. So you're gonna go ahead and put your lumpia in there. You don't want to put too many at a time. Give them some room to fry up and crisp and get really golden brown. I would say you want to fry them for about 4 to 5 minutes. This is probably going to be a little bit less because these aren't all the way frozen just yet. And you want to turn them halfway through, and you'll know that they're done when you get that really nice golden brown. I like to have a bowl on standby with some parchment paper at the bottom to catch all of the oil. Alrighty, so at this point our lumpia is pretty much done. You can see that They're nice and golden browned. The edges are a little bit darker. You can see there that those are a little bit darker. Beautiful golden brown color, nice and crunchy. You see that there. So I'm going to go ahead and take these out. You want to drain them a little bit. And when I take them directly out of the fryer, I like to drain them standing up so that they drain. You don't want it to be laying down sideways, and then when you take a bite, you get a mouthful of oil. So go ahead and drain those. And also, sometimes if you leave them out for too long, they will get a little bit soggy. If you have an air fryer, you can re-crisp them in an air fryer. We have tried cooking them in an air fryer directly without deep frying them first, and it's not quite the same. You don't get that nice color, that golden brown color that you do when you deep fry them. If you toss it with a little bit of oil first, you might be able to do that. But anything deep fried is always better, right? So there you have it. There is the lumpia there. Alrighty guys, so now we have our finished, crispy, crunchy, delicious lumpias. So you can use dipping sauce if you like. So one of the popular sauces that we like to use is this sweet chili sauce. You will see the chili flakes in there, but it's not very spicy. It may have like a tiny kick to it, but I would say it's more sweet than anything. There are recipes online for a vinegary soy sauce, which is also really good. So you may feel that you don't need sauce at all, and that is completely up to you. So here you have it, our finished lumpia there. Food is a really good way to bring everyone together. It's a nice way to show someone you care about them, that, you know, it's a gift of love. I feel like food is something that when you take the time to make something, it really shows someone that you care about them. So make your lumpia with love and share it with people that you care about, and enjoy. Thank you for watching my lumpia tutorial and wrapping up the new year. Bye-bye.